A very good afternoon, sir. Bakshi sir, am I audible? Good afternoon, Bakshi sir. Am I audible to you?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Yes. I think participants are still joining. Let's wait for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. We are just waiting for a few minutes. We'll just start in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
A very good evening to all in one present over here for the valedictory ceremony of the 15 days online refresher course, which we started on 7th of July 2023. I'm just going to take 5 minutes to just give a report
Sure.
of the
Please take your time.
refresher course.
Please.
So this online 15 days refresher course was organized by Faculty of Law, Barkatullah University and Droid Penal Group, a unit of Arjun Das Gulati Memorial Society, in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, a prime center of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. A short and a brief report for these 15 days. On the inaugural day, we had a chief guest. Today also we have the session of that person. Professor Ashok Kumar Bakshi sir, former Vice Chancellor, PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana. We also had Professor Suresh Kumar Jain sir, who is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Barkatullah University, Bhopal. Professor Vimal Rao, National Coordinator of GAT TLC, Center of PMNTT, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Dr. Mona Purohit ma'am, Dean and Head, Department of Legal Studies Research, and Ms. Gauri Gulati, Director, Droid Penal Group, Prayagraj. For the second day, we had Professor Divya Chansoria ma'am from Faculty of Law, Rani Durgavati University, Jabalpur, and Dr. Santosh Kumar Tiwari, Assistant Professor, Gautam Buddha University, Noida. On the third day, we had with us Professor Ruchi Ghosh, Professor and HOD, Department of Sociology, Barkatullah University, Bhopal, and we had a journal discussion on that day as well. On the fourth day of the refresher course, we had Anupma Pandit Saxena madam, who is the head of the department of Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, a Central University, Sagar, with ma'am Dr. Sushma Sharma ma'am, Associate Professor, National Law University, Bhopal. On the fifth day, we had Dr. Mamta Rana ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Law, Hemvati Nandan Bahuguna Garewal University, Uttarakhand, and Professor Raka Arya, Member of Law Commission and Professor of NLIU Bhopal. On the sixth day, we had Dr. Dhananjay Chopra, Course Coordinator, Institute of Professional Studies, University of Allahabad, and Dr. Devanshu Srivastava, Head, Faculty of Law, Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal. On the seventh day, we had with us Professor Apurva Dikshit, Faculty of Law, Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal. On the eighth day, we had a hands-on session with Professor Dr. Arun Chulka, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Maharaja Agrasen College, University of Delhi. And with him, we had Professor S. Surya Prakash, Professor, National Law University, Bhopal. On the ninth day, we had Professor Dr. Vivek Khare, Dean, Faculty of Commerce, Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, and Dr. Rajesh K. Kunnood, Professor, Aryabhat University. On the 10th day, we had Professor Shobhana Bharadwaj, Dean, ITM University, Gwalior, and with her, we had Professor Shweta Bajaj from Gurugram University, Gurugram. On the 11th day, we had Professor Tapan Chandola, Professor and Dean, Faculty of Law, ICFA University, Dehradun. On the 12th day, we had Dr. Pranam Dhar, Professor and Head, Department of Commerce and Management, West Bengal State University, Kolkata, and Dr. Pyali Chatterjee, Head of the Department, Faculty of Law, ICFA University, Raipur. On the 13th day, we had, because we had one session on those days, which were wherein the resource person had some technical issues on their part because of the weather conditions and because of the network issues in Gurugram. On the 13th day, which was a Sunday, we had session with Dr. Rana Navneet Roy, Associate Professor of Hidayatullah National Law University, Raipur, and Dr. S.K. Bose, Associate Professor, School of Law, Manav Rachna University, NCR, Delhi. So on the valedictory session today, we have just given a short report of the professors and faculties who have taken lectures all across India for this 15 days online refresher course. I hope the participants had a great time with learning with them. Today, with not wasting of time, I would like to invite our beloved resource person and one of our mentors, Professor Ashok Kumar Bakshi sir, former Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana, and former Vice Chancellor of UPRTO University, Allahabad. Sir today will be taking up a topic from a teacher to an academic leader in higher education in India in the 21st century, a roadmap. Welcome to you, sir, on the valedictory session, and thank you for accepting our invitation every time when we give you a call. on the last minutes and asking you about the topic and discussing about you with the topic, which can be helpful for the participants during and after these sessions. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Gaurav, for your very kind words of introduction. I'm indeed very happy to be a part of this refresher course, 15 days online program, which is ending today. And thanks for inviting me to be a part of this valedictory event. You know, when he approached me for delivering a talk, there were quite a few options. But then I thought this time, let me speak on a topic which could be of interest to each and everybody present here. As to what I think, how you can become an academic leader from a teacher. And when I talked to Gaurav in this regard, he also agreed that this would be an interesting talk. So let's hope that you find this talk useful for you. And before I start my talk, let me share my screen. Gaurav, is my screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, sir. Your screen is completely visible and completely audible. You are.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So this is going to be an about 1 hour talk. And as you can see, the title of the talk is From a Teacher to an Academic Leader in Higher Education in India in the 21st Century, a Roadmap. So this is the title, and this talk is my perspective on the topic based on my long experience in higher education, both at national and international levels. I don't claim that this talk will make you an academic leader, but certainly it will put you on a path to become an academic leader material. What is expected of an academic leader? You know, it is said that one must learn from the mistakes and experience of others because one cannot possibly live long enough to make all of them on your own. So that is why I am sharing my experiences, what I learned, and therefore I am conveying it to you. Let me tell you at the very outset, nobody told us. So this is my life's experiences in a capsule form. You know, we have leaders in all walks of life. And you will agree that leaders do make a difference. This Life published 100 people's name who changed the world. Even Mahatma Gandhi also said, be the change you want to see in the world. Leadership is not a title or a position. It is an action and example. We have Indian CEOs, as you can see, making a mark on the global stage. All of them, you know, in their own way, they are leaders. Then on the right side, we have Indian scientists who have revolutionized world science. And they have made big contributions in the field of science. Then these are some of our political leaders. And on the right, you can see women leaders. You know, each one is unique. Each one has their own traits and qualities, etc. But they are leaders, there is no doubt. But academic leadership is different. Academic leadership is different from leadership in other arenas because here stakeholders are different, goals to be achieved are different, processes to be followed, or the approach of the leadership, or the approach of the process owners, all these things are different. So in this talk, we are focusing on academic leadership. And this is the concept map of my talk. You are there, you can see you, then you will have to strengthen your academic credentials. Then I will talk about what traits you should have, what skills you should have, what are the do's and don'ts for you, who are the stakeholders involved, and what are the personality traits you should have in order to become an academic leader. Then I will also talk about the challenges of the 21st century higher education for quality education and how to implement them, because that is what ultimately an academic leader has to do. So overall, we will talk about how you can acquire competence for academic leadership. That will ultimately constitute the roadmap for becoming an academic leader. And please remember, life is a process. No one rises suddenly in the world. So don't expect that you can immediately become an academic leader. So you will have to work hard, you will have to be persistent, only then you will be able to achieve your goal. And also keep it in mind that excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. So this is what constitutes an excellence. And also keep it in mind, a stone is broken by the last stroke of hammer. This does not mean that the first stroke is useless. So success is the result of continuous efforts. You have to be persistent and have never give up attitude. And for becoming an academic leader, because most of you are quite young, you must learn how to manage your career very well from the very beginning. Look at this. If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. So that is the spirit behind the whole roadmap. You will have to sharpen your axe. And career management, when I say, it involves 2 things. One is the career growth, and the second is career development. And both are very important. Career growth is when you strive for a higher position than your current position. You are assistant professor, you want to become associate or professor or director. Therefore, you focus on these goals and it is strategic. Whereas career development is when within your current role, you improve your knowledge, you improve your skills, you improve your talent. And therefore, you focus on how to achieve this. And therefore, it brings about a transformation in you. For example, this refresher course is a career development program. After the program, your knowledge, your skills, your talent will improve. So you have to become the CEO of your career destiny. The sooner this awakening comes to you, the better it is. So take ownership of your career destiny. Take your career very, very seriously. Please remember, we cannot become what we want to be by remaining what we are. So we will have to change. We will have to make efforts. It's very unfortunate that people often invest more time planning their vacation rather than planning their career or work. Give time to your career, how you want to plan it, etc. And one thing, this is very important, the secret of success is to be ready when your opportunity comes. So it should not be that when the opportunity will come, then you will start working. No, you should be ready. And I'm sure this talk will ready you for that opportunity. Opportunities are very rare, but you have to be ready for that. Because, it is said opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you miss them. So make the best use of opportunities whenever they come in your life. This is a very beautiful quote. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls, but some people build windmills. That's how you use the opportunity. And please remember, there is a powerful driving force inside every human being that once unleashed can make any vision, dream, or desire a reality. So there is that driving force inside you also. It's a question of only unleashing your driving force. So these are some of the basics, introductory part which I wanted to say. Now I will come to part one of my talk. Let's look at the current higher education scenario in India. India has the third largest system of education in the world. You can see more than 1,000 universities, almost 44,000 colleges, 11,000 standalone institutions, 15.5 lakh teachers, and more than 4 crore students. Such a huge system. And you will agree that the main functions of any higher education institution are to disseminate knowledge, that is teaching, learning, then to create knowledge, that is research and guidance of research, and then empowerment of the students for their all-round development through holistic quality education, and then academic administration and management. So these are the 4 major roles of a higher education institution. Although the education scenario is changing very, very fast due to technological advancements, but broadly speaking, the goals remain the same. And each of these higher educational institutions has an academic leader in the form of a vice chancellor or a director or a principal at the helm of the affairs to lead the institution. Even I would say, even each teacher in a way is an academic leader for his or her class. So you should start assuming yourself to be an academic leader right now. If you start thinking like that, you will slowly become an academic leader. Because, the role of the leader in achieving excellence in all the functions of higher educational institution is very important. Without appropriate leadership, the institution is like a ship without a rudder. It will become directionless and ultimately sink with all its passengers. And it won't be wrong if we say a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So this is all very, very important. Now, what is leadership? There can be many definitions of leadership. I will not go into the detail, but one thing is clear, that leadership refers to leading people, influencing people, commanding people, and guiding people. So this all are covered under leadership, and everybody cannot do it. You need to have certain qualities, which we will talk later on. There are many leadership styles. They vary from person to person, One may be an autocratic leader, one may be a laissez-faire leader, or one could be a democratic leader, or even a mix of that. All leadership styles are there. Some people sometimes behave like democratic, sometimes autocratic, as the situation demands. So these are the various leadership styles. But one thing you should keep it in mind, leaders are made. They are not born. They are made by hard effort, which is the price which all of us must pay to achieve any goal that is worthwhile. So that is what I want to tell you is each one of you can become an academic leader, provided you wish to and you are ready to work hard along a particular direction. That was the reason why government, when it was felt that there is a dearth of good academic leaders in the country, in November 2018, government launched LEAP program, that is the Leadership for Academicians program. This program was for senior higher education faculty. This was a 3-week program where 2 weeks was the domestic training and 1 week foreign training. Generally, people were below the age of 55 years, having served as professor for almost 8 years and some publications, etc. So this was basically to prepare leaders for future roles. Now the question comes, what makes a competent academic leader? So I will now come to those details. In my opinion, the traits of a good academic leader, first we will take, the leader should be an academician. He or she should be a scholar with high level of intelligence. And the person should be coming from ranks. Somebody coming from outside the academic world cannot understand academics. Sometimes bureaucrats are appointed. They may not be able to do justice. But you should be a great scholar, a great teacher, a great researcher. Having been a member of various selection committees for the selection of the Vice Chancellor, I have seen that these are some of the things. You need to have very strong academic credentials. Your biodata should be very strong. +2 record, undergraduate record, PG record, then publications, then books, patents, their impact factor, postdoctoral experience, especially from abroad, so that you have an international exposure, then research guidance, independent publications, academic awards and honors, and many other types of possible recognitions, then organization and presentations at national and international events, and so on. All these things enhance your biodata, strengthen your academic credentials. And now in the technology world, e-content development, MOOCs, etc., all these things are also coming and they are counted. Therefore, what I would advise you is you should be aware of what you need to achieve. And you should do regular introspection. Once in 3 months, you should see where have you come in the last 3 months. Do self-evaluation, nothing wrong. That is how you can manage your career well. Please remember, the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. If your daily routine is just directionless, you cannot achieve anything. You have to be very focused. And then an academic leader should be visionary. Visionary means you are able to see what is still invisible to others. And you have also the capacity to translate vision into reality. So you can be a good visionary only when you have full understanding of all issues involved in higher education. So that is what you should slowly try to understand. Because, please remember, sight is what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see with your mind. Here I am talking about vision. And until you can see it in your mind, you will not be able to see it with your eyes. Vision always precedes sight. Keep this thing in mind. And please remember, action without vision is only passing time. And vision without action is merely daydreaming. So you need to have vision with action. That can change the world. So an academic leader should have vision and then follow it up with action to translate it into reality. Then you should be good articulator. This is very important for an academic leader, because you should have the ability to articulate your vision. And what is articulation? Articulation is the ability to express your thought clearly and effectively. As a matter of fact, communication begins with articulation. You should have the capability to persuade, convince, and paint a picture of the future, what you have envisioned. Therefore, I would say an institution needs a leader who can visualize, articulate, coordinate, and implement strategies to achieve goals and satisfy all stakeholders. Although very easy to say, but very difficult. You have to work in that direction. And from now onwards, you should start working in this direction on a smaller scale. Then a leader should be a team player, not dictatorial. Look at the top. You should not be boss. You should be a leader. First among equals, you should be like that. Because a leader will always develop people. A boss will always use people. So boss will, inspire fear in their subordinates and take credit. A leader will generate enthusiasm amongst the subordinates and give credit. This is the difference in the two approaches. You need to become leader. And then I feel a leader should have a deep understanding of human values and behavior, etc., and emotions. Because, a leader ultimately has to deal with the people. So you should have a good understanding of human behavior and emotions. And for this, my tip to all of you is don't judge people, understand them. If you judge people, nobody is yours. If you try to understand people, everyone is yours. Develop the habit of understanding and you will experience peace and love in all your relations. Respect other people's way of thinking. If 6 plus 3 is 9, so is 5 plus 4. The way you do things is not always the only way to do them. So respect other people's way of thinking. This is what I want to say. And one thing, which I also have learned, I am sharing with you, you will come across many people. Inside every person there is one person whom you do not. And that will always remain an enigma for you. So this will always be the case. Then have empathy. In dealing with the people, empathy is one of the most important interpersonal skills. It helps you to connect with another person. Empathy is what? Seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. It's something, you put yourself into another's shoes. This skill you should have, this can do wonders for you. This is a very good video I just want to show. Just watch this.
I recently came across this image and story and had to share it with you. The man in this picture doesn't know that there is a snake underneath. The woman doesn't know that there is a stone crushing the man. The woman thinks, I am going to fall and I can't climb because the snake is going to bite me. Why can't he use a little more strength and pull me up? The man thinks, I am in so much pain. yet I'm still pulling you as much as I can. Why doesn't she try and climb a little harder? The moral is, you can never see the pressure the other person is under, and the other person can't see the pain you're in. This is life. Whether it's with work, family, feelings, or friends, we should try to understand each other a little more. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes. Learn to think differently. Be more open to other perspectives and opinions. A little kindness and patience goes a long way. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle. Some you will never hear about. You may wish other people would be more understanding and compassionate and helpful to you. So be all those things for other people. Lori Deshen once gave some priceless advice. She said, practice the pause. Pause before assuming. Pause before accusing. And pause whenever you're about to react harshly. You might avoid saying things you'll later regret. Be kind to each other.
So that's basically what I mean by empathy. And please remember, everybody has some gifts and talents. A good leader knows how to harness them towards the same goal. This is a remarkable quality in a good leader. And please remember, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But once you are a leader, success is all about growing others. You should take pride in the growth of your colleagues. That's what the role of a leader should be. And please remember, a person who feels appreciated will always do much more than what is expected. That is something, what is called a psychological handling of the people. Encourage them, appreciate them, motivate them. They will come out of the way to help you. Then a leader should lead by example. A leader has to be a role model. A leader should have a courage of conviction. Whatsoever their beliefs, that you should have the courage. You have to be also very, very hardworking, but sensible hard work. You should be available 24/7 for your work. Because in respect of working hard, direction is more important than speed. Therefore, whatsoever direction you choose it very carefully. You are not, you are free to choose any direction, but then you will not be free from the consequences of your choice. So direction is very important. And please remember, nothing great in this world has ever been accomplished without passion. You should have the passion to reach to the top. Nobody can stop you. This is what I always say. Work with strong willpower and bulldog determination, and world will be at your feet. Then a leader should have a full knowledge of rules and regulations. This is something which is very important. This will make you independent. You will not have to depend on your office people. They can always mislead you or misguide you. You should have a full knowledge of all the rules and regulations. I don't mean that you become leader and then you start learning. Even now, you daily come across so many rules and regulations, go into their depth and understand them. This is very, very important. It will give you tremendous confidence. Nobody can then befool you. And then you should also be an out-of-box thinker. You should have the ability to come, with new ideas. And then dedication is also which is expected. Whatsoever time is or energy is necessary to accomplish any task, be ready for that. 100% dedication should come from your side. And ultimately, one thing which I always say, time management for a leader, as a matter of fact, for everybody is very important. Manage your time very well. Try to maximize your performance in the shortest time. It's a very good statement what you do today is important because you are exchanging a day of your life for it. So that is the importance of one day in your life. So spend it very carefully. And one more thing, which I also learned later on, try to maintain a regular diary of important happenings every day. I think this is something which all of us should practice. These can be the benefits of writing a diary. It will help you in remembering the events and activities. And as the time will pass, this will become more valuable. It also helps you in tracking the progress and growth. And when you will look at the events and the happening and think over that self-reflection, you will learn a lot. And it improves your memory. All great leaders did maintain a diary. Nothing wrong. You should try it. And then maybe if I have a diary, I read 6 years back what I did on this date, where I have come. It will help you. So these were the traits which I said. Then are the expectations of different stakeholders for an academic leader. There are so many stakeholders. Students are there. They want high quality education. They want preparation for the job. They want all-round development. They want value for the money which they are paying as fees. So these are the expectations of the students. If you talk about faculty, they want a fulfilling career, good promotional avenues, and a good career profile for the teachers. If you look for government, they want research output, more the better. If you look at, the society, they want furtherance of social causes, equity, education to be important, not with equality, but equity. And then if you look at the management of the institution, they want growth, they want proliferation of courses, they want efficient operations and brand building. So these are the different stakeholders. And the leader's role is to take them along. All stakeholders, as a matter of fact, need to work together to meet the expectations. And here the role of academic leader again becomes very important. Teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. Then, I would like to tell you about the skills of a good academic leader, which I feel are very important in the 21st century. Networking is very important. Particularly in this information age, it is said if you are not networking, you are not working. So have good connections, all that possibility. Then team building. You should have the skill how to build a good team for any particular job. Then you should have excellent communication, presentation, and ICT skills. Articulation, I mentioned, how you present your ideas, how systematically and logically you think. That comes in presentation skills. Then leadership and management skills, and resilience is very important. Ability to bounce back even if you meet some failure. In team building, Steve Jobs once very rightly said, great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. And if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So that's the effort of a team. And team building, involves this whole process. Form a team, clarify roles, encourage communication, build relationship, track progress, assess team, solve problems, and then, success you should monitor. So that is the team building process. And here the role of the teacher becomes, or academic leader becomes very, very important. If you have to constitute any team, IQAC, who are the right people for that team? You should have the understanding. And resilience, there are many failures, there are many setbacks while running the administration. You should be having this quality of resilience, that ability to bounce back stronger, wiser, and more personally powerful. So this quality is very, very important. And please remember, the true test of a leadership is how well you function during a crisis. And in a crisis, when things are not doing well, your best comes out. And somebody very rightly said, you are at your best when things are at their worst. A leadership also should develop an understanding of how to cope with the complexity and challenges of governance in higher educational institutions, financial and general administration. You should also have the financial acumen. So, I am telling you what are the things which are expected from a leader. But then there are some don'ts also for an academic leader. What an academic leader should not do. Don't react emotionally. Emotions have, no place. Don't act arrogantly. Don't be rigid. And don't be biased. And then don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. This is the mindset you should have. And don't compromise on quality in recruitment. In any higher educational institution, we recruit so many teachers or so many other people, staff. Never compromise on quality. Because, this is sometimes the big problem in higher educational institutions. Because an institution ultimately is as good as its faculty. Look at the world level. They are great not because of the buildings or the infrastructure. They are great because of the people, because of the faculty. But sometimes in India, we are not able to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is a mix of all these things which I have told: knowledge, skills, values, vision, teamwork, behavior, etc. But now, then while I was preparing, I also thought, let me introduce why do academic leaders fail? So I was trying to understand this, and what I could think was, these are some of the reasons why do academic leaders fail. One is if they are having unclear vision and expectation. They don't know which side the institution is to be taken. They themselves don't have the understanding. Let us put it bluntly. Then there is a lack of connectivity and trust. They lose connection with their own people or with their students or with their teachers. And they don't have their trust. Mutual trust is missing. They themselves start focusing on politics. And then their own confidence suddenly becomes ego, and that leads to arrogance. All these four lead to the downfall of an academic leader. Try to understand, because I don't have much time, but I'm telling you, if you analyze in depth, these are some of the reasons. And arrogance is a surest path to failure. Never become arrogant, please. Sometimes a small success goes into our head and we become arrogant. Look at this quote. कभी किसी चीज का घमंड आ जाए तो शमशान का एक चक्कर लगा आना, तुमसे बेहतरीन लोग वहां राख बने पड़े. So that's basically what it is. And one should be scared of time and luck or fate. समय और भाग्य है, पर कभी अहंकार मत करो, क्योंकि ये दोनों परिवर्तनशील हैं. समय दिखता नहीं है, पर दिखा बहुत कुछ जाता है. So please don't become arrogant. जिनमें कुछ नहीं होता है ना, उनमें घमंड बहुत होता है. Other reasons for their failure are focus is wrong. What is the need of the focus and on what they are focusing, that is mismatched. Decision making is very slow because they have to depend on so many things. They are not able to take a decision. And they are selfish and more concerned about their personal professional growth. They are not bothered about the growth of the institution. They want to look for their own growth. And personal integrity is missing. These are other four reasons for the failure. Because integrity is one of the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Integrity basically means holding to the principles like honesty, loyalty, and fairness. People may be competent, but they may not be having integrity. So integrity is very, very important. Then many teachers or many leaders fail because they lack self-belief. Look at this quote. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch but in her own wings. That is the trust which an academic leader should have. And this self-belief means becomes self-confidence, and that is a superpower. Once you start believing in yourself, magic will start happening. So believe in yourself. Then many leaders start living in a comfort zone. And there also the problem comes. It's only after you have stepped out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Many leaders even have fear of failure. They don't act because they may not succeed or they may fail. Failures, please remember, are a part of life. If you don't fail, you don't learn. And if you don't learn, you will never change. And nowadays, even people embrace their failures. On their webpage, they keep a failure resume where they highlight what they could not get, what awards they could not get, what position they could not get. They analyze and try to improve. So embracing failures can be helpful to you because your attitude towards failure determines your altitude after failure. And please remember, leaders should always be ready to take risks. Be prepared to lose if you want to win in life. Sometimes you need to lose small battles in order to win the war, because that each one teaches you. So what I mean is the leadership in itself is a continuous development. You develop through self-study, self-reflection, education, training, and experience. So it's a continuous journey. Now I come to part 2. And, part 2, I'm talking that once you are an academic leader in a higher educational institution, what are the challenges before academic leaders in imparting quality education? Let me tell you one thing, that there is no universal definition of quality education. It varies with the opinions and perspectives of different stakeholders. Academics they think quality is in research. Undergraduate students will think about quality of teaching, learning experience, and the environment. Professional bodies will think on the professional standards and the skills which are required for their profession. So different people have different definitions. NAC has a different criteria, 7 criteria. And it is said that these 7 points are the quality indicator framework, which includes curriculum, teaching, learning, research, infrastructure, all that. So there is no single definition. But one thing you have to keep it in mind, education is relevant only when it is able to prepare our students for future success. And in the 21st century, world is changing very, very fast. Due to technological advancement, these are the challenges which we are all going to face. Uncertainty about future jobs. We do not know in which jobs our students will be placed. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation are taking over many of our jobs. Gross enrollment ratio is increasing, but traditional jobs are almost the same. So tough competition. Many takers, few jobs. Then we need to adapt Industrial Revolution 4 and 5. Ultimately, the workforce for them have to come out of education system. Then there are multiple sources of knowledge. There was a time when teacher used to be the only source of knowledge, but now there are so many sources. This is again a challenge. And then mismatch between education and employment. What skills we give to the students and what the industry is required, there is a mismatch. So these are all the challenges. And academic leaders should understand this. And one thing you have to be clear, that quality education ultimately will consist of 3 things. You will impart knowledge, disciplinary, interdisciplinary, practical, and skill knowledge. Then 21st century skills, and then personality, values, attitude, etc. These three things ultimately one imparts. How do we do? How we change the curriculum, how we follow teaching, learning, those are different things. But ultimately, quality education will have these three things. And these three things constitute the competence, not only of student, not only of teacher, even of the leader also. So aim should be to enhance your competence. And then an academic leader should understand this, slide, which is very important in the modern world. Quality education is linked with sustainable development. World is talking about sustainable development goals. And sustainable development goal 4 is quality education. And our new education policy has come from that sustainable development goal 4 to a great extent. So an academic leader should have understanding of these three links. Because we are preparing global citizens by educating them in India. So we have to understand this. And this quality education is the basis of sustainable development. And quality education produces what? It produces humans who are genius, which can help you in sustainable development. And sustainable development is the burning issue in the world at present. You all know. United Nations in 2015 signed United Nations agenda, where 193 countries signed, including India. They worked on these 17 sustainable development goals. These are the 17 goals. And if you look at the goal number 4, that is quality education. So these sustainable development goals represent the real world problems, and their solution calls for a multidisciplinary approach. That is why we are focusing on multidisciplinary education at present. These are the 17 goals divided in 3 categories. These are the 3 pillars: social pillar, economic pillar, and environmental pillar. Quality education comes in social pillar. Even Prime Minister Modi in 2015 said, look at this, this is very important. Much of India's development agenda is mirrored in sustainable development goals. So India is committed to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030. So our all policies are reflected, are ultimately in an attempt to fulfill the sustainable development goal. Even our G20, which is going to happen in India next month, its agenda is also, or it is aligned to its work with the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. So this is sustainable development goal 4, which is quality education. And believe you me, if you try to analyze various provisions of NEP 2020 are based on this sustainable development goal 4. So NEP, therefore, why I am telling you these 5-6 slides, an academic leader should have this full understanding. Otherwise, one will think sustainable development has nothing to do with education, education has nothing to do with NEP 2020, or linking is missing. So an academic leader should train teachers for that, prepare modern curriculum, embrace new digital pedagogies, learner-centric methods of teaching should be followed. Focus on thinking, innovation, and creativity, not on rote learning. That era is over. Assessment process should be made more scientific. So leaders should be aware and therefore guide their teachers to follow this. If a leader doesn't have the vision, what I showed you earlier, the ship will sink with all its passengers. We also need to build research culture and enhance research capacity. Focus on globally competent but locally relevant research. Need to have digital curriculum and then focus on the continuous professional development of teachers. Look at it. This is the current state. India ranks 3rd in the world for research, 7th for highly cited papers, and 10th for patent filings. But India has just 250 scientists or researchers per million population. and India ranks 40th in Global Innovation Index. We need to encourage. So you have to change in part of quality education so that we improve on all these fronts. And now I come to the last part, 3, and third part, which I want to say is some more personality traits which are important for a leader at work. These are needed for academic leaders. Many I have told you already, and because for the success of an academic leader, personality traits become very, very important. One thing more which I learned was learn to say no and speak only when you must. I read many books, and this is something which I learned that many leaders follow. Learn the art of saying no. Don't lie. Don't make excuses. Don't over-explain yourself. Just simply decline. Yes, you can be a good person with a kind heart and still say no. You don't need to be a bad person only for saying no. So this is something quality you should develop. Be honest. And before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer is yes, only then you should speak. If you do this, people will start taking you very serious. They will think that this person normally doesn't speak much, but once he or she is speaking, there must be something. So people will take you very serious. No doubt, words are free, but it is how you use them that may cost you. So use your words very carefully. Look at this right side. The sword and words have the same letters. Even stranger is the fact that they have the same effect if not used properly. And one more thing you should remember. World will respect only your position. Once your position is gone, nobody will bother. So try to enhance your intrinsic value. Become a great researcher, become a great teacher, or in any field you maybe develop something so that you are still respected. Because remember, तभी तक पूछे जाओगे जब तक काम आओगे. चिरागों के जलते ही बुझा दी जाती हैं तीलियां. So please remember that. And then in life, search for happiness and not pleasure. Most people just only exist. Living is rare. Look for happiness, not pleasure. Look at this. When I was searching this, I liked very much. Just watch this.
Pleasure and happiness. A lot of people equate the two. Pleasure is short-lived, happiness is long-lived. Pleasure is visceral, happiness is ethereal. Pleasure is taking, happiness is giving. Pleasure can be achieved with substances. Happiness cannot be achieved with substances. Pleasure is experienced alone. Happiness is experienced in social groups. The extremes of pleasure all lead to addiction. Yet there's no such thing as being addicted to too much happiness. Pleasure is dopamine and happiness is serotonin. There's one thing that downregulates serotonin, dopamine. So the more pleasure you seek, the more unhappy you get. Las Vegas, Madison Avenue, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and Washington, D.C. have very specifically and in a coordinated fashion confused and conflated happiness with the term pleasure so that you can buy happiness. And in the process, we have become most decidedly unhappy.
So I think you can see the message. Then, in academic leadership or in any leadership, emotional intelligence plays a very important role. The research shows that IQ can help you to be successful to the extent of 20% only in life. The rest of 80% success depends on your emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. It's like this. Intelligence quotient is visible. It's like the iceberg upper part. The one which is below, that is emotional quotient. That plays a very important role. Emotional intelligence basically means perceiving emotions, understanding emotions, using emotions, and managing emotions. You should be very good in this. Then one more thing, beware of sycophants when you are a leader. Sycophants are like termites that eat from inside even a tree bearing fruit and flowers, and they are often in the guise of supporters and followers on. Beware. जिंदगी में एक बात हमेशा याद रखें, मक्खन लगाने वाले के हाथ में हमेशा चाकू होता है. Look at this. People will tell you about different things. This quote was very relevant. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. So I think message is clear. And then stop worrying about things. As a leader, I find many people, many of my friends, they are always worried about some things. My message to all of them is, don't worry about the things which you cannot control. Worry only the things which are in your control. And they are attitude, your effort, your focus. What others do, what others think, what will be the actions of others, what happens around me, just forget. This will change your life if you follow this. And overthinking, many people are overthinking. Overthinking is what? The art of creating new problems out of the ones that never existed in the first place. And then, as I mentioned earlier also, learn self-control. Because there is nothing in this world that can trouble you as much as your own thoughts. The heaviest burden that we carry are the thoughts in our head. We are thinking always. Cages are not made of iron, they are made of our thoughts. On an average, we think about 70,000 thoughts in a day. So practice self-control. Then you will be able to master anything. And think positive all the time. You have to think. Why not think positive? Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. And please remember, a right attitude in your life will never take you to the wrong direction. And then try to win people in life. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Divide them. Don't do this. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Show respect for other person's opinions. Become genuinely interested in other people. Be a good listener. Never say you are wrong. Even if you have to say it indirectly. So these are the ways how you can win over the people. And this is a masterstroke in this sense. Remove expectations from people and you will remove their power to hurt your feelings. If you don't like something, just take away its only power. And what is that power? Your attention. Just don't pay any attention, the world will change. I think remember this slide. This slide is very, very important. And you are unique, so stay special in your own way. This is also one thing which I would like to tell all of you. You are unique, no one can match you. Have a high opinion of yourself. You may not be perfect in many things, but then many things cannot be perfect without you. So stay special in your own little ways. Think high of yourself. You are unique. Keep this thing in mind. And before I conclude, this is my last, a message for all of you before I am concluding. There is a book called Die Empty. The title is Die Empty, written by Todd Henry. Todd Henry was once asked, what prompted you to write this book? He says, he was attending a business meeting where the director asked, which is the richest land in the world? Some said oil-rich Gulf states. Others said diamond mines in Africa. But then the director said, no, it is the cemetery. It is the burial ground, which is the richest land in the world. Because millions of people have died and they carried many valuable ideas that did not come to light, nor they could benefit others. They are all buried in that cemetery. So cemetery is the richest land in the world. He got this idea and then he wrote this book, Die Empty. Live full die empty. Don't die old, die empty. That's the goal of life. Go to the cemetery and disappoint the graveyard. Don't go to your grave with your best work inside of you. Choose to die empty. And please remember, no one has ever become poor by giving. That's life. And one more thing before I conclude, life is never fair. जिंदगी बहुत कुछ देकर भी किसी ना किसी चीज के लिए फकीर बनाए रखती है. याद रखिए इस इक्वेशन कोट को. So that is what the life is. One day your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. I know I took a little more time, but I just wanted to complete it. So your comments, your suggestions are valuable. I've shared what I have learned in my life. And if you start following them in your life from this age, you may be 30, 40, 50, whatsoever is your age, you will see a big transformation in your life. Thank you very much and all the best. And thank you, Gaurav, once again.
Thank you, sir, for giving such an insightful session. And as we had discussed about the topic earlier regarding your session for today, so the topic was completely justified and it gave us a good way to proceed further for various things which you had been speaking about, the education policy and sustainable goals. So, sir, it is always a pleasure having you with us on the online platform. Hope soon we'll have you for some physical event, which we are planning at Prayagraj. So it will be a pleasure having you as one of the speakers.
But I also think we have been meeting only, and Vimal is also there.
Yes, sir. Ma'am is also there.
We have been meeting only online. So I think there should be some opportunity.
Exactly.
Now slowly the world is changing and I have gone to one or two places in physical mode, but still I find this to be very convenient,
Sir, it is basically time saving. Like if you have to visit for a day, it takes a lot of time. So thank you so much, sir, once again for joining us with the valedictory ceremony and giving your insightful session to the participants. Because we discussed already with the participants that we don't want to make it a valedictory, just thank you and all that. So we try to have a session so that it will give the good impact to the participants, that it is not the end of the things, it is the start. So Dr. Vimal ma'am, a very warm welcome to you on the valedictory ceremony of the 15 days online refresher course. Today we are finishing up with all the 15 days work. We had 13 days of working with 26 resource persons speaking for every day. And even we had some sessions on Sundays as well because of the technical issues which the speakers were having because of the rain issues, as well as the blockage of internet in the Haryana region. So we had also taken our participants on Sunday. Also, we had the sessions. So, ma'am, I would request you to give a small deliberation so that the participants can have a idea about this 15 days, how we went in.
Good evening, everyone. Very respected Professor A.K. Bakshi, sir. First of all, thanks to Professor Bakshi, sir, for always giving such a motivational talk. And I think that started with our inaugural part, and the same note we are having in this valedictory session as well. So thank you so much, sir. About that, I'll also like to mention my gratitude to the entire team of Barakatullah University with whom we are collaborating this, and the Droit Penal group in the leadership of Mr. Gaurav and others, and all dear colleagues who have given their time of their life in co-learning through this online refresher course. As teachers, we have to be continuously learning, not simply for what notes, what lecture we will be preparing. That definitely is important part, but then the newer pedagogies, the newer skills which our students require, the various technological tools which are coming. Every day now we are having new and new tools coming. So we have to be embracing them and get better and better in our every classroom. That is what is the motto. And I think this FDP come refresher course has really looked up into that theme, that how focusing on the non-science discipline, I can say, along with the legal, commerce, humanities and all, that what type of methodologies you can use, where you can improve upon quality of the teaching learning processes in our institution. But quality for what? Rightly, I think in Professor A.K. Bakshi sir's lecture, where he also touched upon the academic leadership and other. So everyone, right from their beginning of the career and as one progresses towards the leadership position, we have to be preparing ourselves. And in that spirit, we should be knowing how the policies are getting changed. We may be going in wrong direction. So how the policies are formulating and how properly they can be implemented. If we simply talk about the National Education Policy 2020, there had been earlier policy documents as well. It is so aspirational to take our future generations in a positive direction, because if we are not able to meet that, we will be having more crime and all will become part of the society. So in your classrooms, apart from the courses, if you can prepare your students into the 21st century skills, the other professional requirements, but then more important is, in addition to that, if we can really inculcate the values and ethics. Values and ethics, not just as a session, but then in every conduct they are having, in every project that they are doing as a group activity, all the things about our multicultural competence, our ethical way of dealing with different segments of our society, all this should be taken in a very serious mode. Unfortunately, in the last 2 decades, our handling in the classroom is more on theory, information, rote learning. So that has to be changed. And I'm sure in these 15 days, you have listened to the various learned personalities who have in their 1.5 hour lecture, or maybe 2 of these lectures, they have actually given their life learnings to all of you. So it is now a responsibility that we take these learnings along. And as I always say, and Gaurav also mentioned today, it is valedictory is not a bye-bye. It is a continued association with all of you. GAD TLC keeps on conducting various programs, looking at the needs of the teachers, where they have to improve upon, whether it is hands-on or the technology or the insights into the changes happening in our higher education. So whoever wishes, we can take those ideas further and we can work as a team and take it. My special thanks to, I think, Dr. Professor Mona Purohit ma'am.
Dr. Purohit ma'am is there.
Nice to
Thank you, madam.
Again, and it is your leadership that you are guiding this entire program and designed it. And we look forward for many more meaningful programs with your team. So please convey my gratitude to your Vice Chancellor, sir, also, and the entire
Sure.
team. And
Thank you so much, ma'am. I will just convey your thanks to him.
my thanks to all the resource persons who have given their valuable time. And my thanks to all participants. Please complete your assignment, quizzes and projects, because if they are not complete, we will not be able to give you the CAS requirement certificate. And wishing you all the very best. So with these words, thank you, and over to you, Gaurav. Thank you.
Thank you, Vimal ma'am, for joining with us on a very short notice as today, because we have been working for this refresher course on Sundays also because of various network and other issues. So thank you, ma'am, for being a part of this program and giving us an insight and giving us an motivation to work like this in this field of educating teachers and giving them an idea about how to go about the sustainable developments and sustainable goals of the government of India, as well as the new education policies mandate. So it is always a pleasure, ma'am, being a part of your organization and working under your organization. And thank you, Dr. Mona Purohit, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to organize such refresher course for the participants who have joined from all across India. This time we have lesser number of participants as we have witnessed a larger number of audience in earlier program. So it's always the time when there are less participants or more participants. So thank you very much, ma'am. Over to you, Mona, ma'am. Can we have a minute for the participants from you?
Hello. I'm audible,
Yes, ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot because that is your initiatives. Just because of your sharing that, madam, we would like to conduct such a program. We are able to conduct this program and all efforts by you and your team. It's a hard work, right? We are just supported there. We are behind you, but ultimately everything is done by you and your team. I appreciate you all for your hard work and especially Madam Rar for her presence and every time they are there and because of that this kind of programs are able, right? We are unable to success in such a reference until and unless there is a support from Madam and Sir. And most important, I would like to thank all the participants. Ultimately, they are the person for whom we are working this much, for whom we are thinking. But ultimately, they are the person who are receiving hand, but they are giving us. As Sir has rightly told that day, that it is a two-way traffic. You are learning, but with your presence, so many times I was there as attendee rather than as a participant. You cannot say that I was not there as an active participant, but just listening, so many queries were there, so many questions, they are relevant, and that shows that our participants were actively participating on such uh, lectures. So thanks to all the participants as well as Droid Penele Group. A special thanks to Gaurav and Madam Raj. Thank you so much.
So moving towards the formal vote of thanks, I would like to thank all the persons involved in this program, participants, Professor Vimal Rar ma'am, Professor A.K. Bakshi sir, Professor Jaswinder sir, everyone, Professor Mona Purohit ma'am, Professor Jain, who is the Vice Chancellor of Barkatullah University, and everyone who has been a guiding light for us in
Gaurav,
organizing.
one request from my side. The feedback forms are with you, right? So how
Yes, ma'am.
can we improve ourselves in next session? What is the, I also want from the participant that they must write something, right? What are
Yes,
the
ma'am.
expectations
Today,
from an organization? That is what I'm
yes, ma'am.
expecting.
Today, ma'am,
So
we
that is
will
the
be giving
request.
a complete feedback form for all the 15 days we have been working.
Request from
And in that, we
participants.
will be having a suggestion part where we
Right.
will be taking suggestions from the
Sure,
participants.
sure.
So how can we, moreover,
Improve ourselves.
start improving ourselves in these programs and getting better quality programs for the participants as well as the people who have been attending and the people who have been giving a lot of time as a resource person. So for improving everybody's skill, starting
Right.
from the participants to the resource persons to the people who are there in the management who are supporting these programs, so they can have a good outset.
Now, one suggestion you can say your recommendation. I want that there is a net syllabi of law. So next time, whenever we are going to organize such a kind of refresher or the DP, whatever it is, we must include all the parameters or the part of the syllabi which is mandatory for the net or JRF, whatever you would say, right? So that
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
beneficial for the student, like you can say the coaching, you can say not as exact, but all the criteria and on that motive only, like how can they correct the net examination easily. So I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
these are the, this is from my side and other suggestion which will be there from the participant, definitely we
I
would
guess
like.
Rar ma'am has a suggestion on this.
Yeah, I will actually like to comment on this, ma'am.
Yes.
One of the colleges in Delhi University, I'll not name, they started with the coaching help when CUET came. So that was actually not taken in a right way. So yeah, so we
Not
this
in a
state,
form of coaching, madam. Definitely, we will
Huh.
go to incorporate all the, you can say, the part of the syllabi, which is mandatory requirement, but because
yeah,
it is
yeah.
a
So
UGC course.
definitely, ma'am. Yeah, let me complete. So
Yes.
we can take the topics which you think will be
Yes.
helping the teachers to build up in a way that they can guide their students inside the class.
Yes.
But we will not be labeling that like that this is
No,
a
no,
course
not
which will be
labeling. Not
preparing.
labeling. Only the
Because
part.
yeah, that's not our mandate. We are
No,
here
no,
to
As
empower.
there is research methodology is a mandatory subject for NET. So
Right.
if research methodology in such a way that will also include all the essential which are required for NET competition, if that is, the
Yeah.
topic will be, of course, research methodology as it is, or the advanced course of law, but according to the
Yeah, according
syllabus.
to the, yeah. So maybe yes, wherever we can direct the programs to empower the teachers, we will do that, because we don't want to be running as a coaching centers for the students.
No.
I want to make it
That
very, very
syllabus
clear.
is
Yeah.
so drafted. It is well drafted syllabus, which will include everything.
Everything.
What needs to be understood by the teachers. That is my understanding. Because they have identified the topics in such a way that there is a coherence between the topics. And if that will be taught to them, that is beneficial for the student as well as for the teachers. That's why I am.
Any more new addition happening in our curriculum, if they, like we in Delhi University, new skill courses are added. So
Right.
now we are doing rigorous FDPs, which are hands-on only, that
Yes.
how the teachers can teach that part. So these
Okay.
type of things are all welcome. So
Right.
anywhere the teachers want to upgrade their subject knowledge or the pedagogy or the technology tools, we can design these programs. So maybe one or two of the participants can share their oral views right now, Gaurav.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
And also has given suggestion. Maybe if they like.
Any of the participants who wishes to give their feedback? I guess, ma'am, the participants are tired with the 15 days
Okay.
hectic schedule which we had planned for them. Even we have not left a Sunday for them.
Yeah.
This
Chalo,
time.
anyhow, we can give them slightly more flexible time for completion.
Yes, ma'am. We have given 15 days for option B, and we are extending for 2 days for option A.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay, ma'am. So thank you everyone for being a part of this valedictory ceremony and gracing this occasion and this program for these 15 days. And I will be highly in depth to the resource persons, management, and the team and GAD-TLC who have been supporting through and for with us for all the 15 days, and the team behind the GAD-TLC technical team who has been giving us support for assignments and everything. Thank you everyone, and thank you Vimal ma'am, thank you Mona ma'am for being the part of the program and giving an insight over things. Thank you so much everyone.
Thank you very much.